Assalamu alaikum students. This is Maryam Nisar and today we are going to have a second lecture of lesson number 2, patriotism. In the previous chapter we have read about what is patriotism, who are patriots, what is the highest military award and who is the nation builder. Before starting the exercises of this chapter, as in this lecture we are going to cover all the exercises of chapter number 2, patriotism, which include the words' meanings, word sentences, modal verbs, and kinds of sentences. You may also see punctuation exercise at the end of this chapter. We will discuss all these exercises side by side. Before starting the chapter, we shall first have the review of the chapter. What is patriotism? In the previous lecture, we have read that patriotism is a feeling of love and devotion towards our motherland. It is an admirable quality which always encourages us to do something for our country. Second thing we learned in the previous chapter was, who is a patriot? A patriot is a person who has a strong feeling of love for his country. He is always willing to sacrifice anything for the country. He always protects the honor of the country and the sovereignty. He never hesitates to sacrifice even his life to protect his country from the conspiracies of the world. He always tries to stay active so that he can avoid his country from the foreign attacks. Third thing we learned in the previous lecture was, who is a nation builder? Quaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah is the nation builder. He loved his country a lot and was a great patriot. He took a lot of pain to secure a separate homeland for the Muslims of subcontinent. He laid great emphasis on the importance of patriotism. Then, three major wars held in the history of Pakistan are the War of 1965, the War of 1971, and the Kargil War. Great martyrs who sacrificed their lives for the defense of Pakistan. Names of those great martyrs who were awarded with the highest military award of Pakistan are Pilot Officer Rashid Minhas, Major Aziz Bhatti, Havildar Lalik Jan, and many others. The highest military award of Pakistan is Nishan-e-Haider, and it is given to great martyrs, great patriots who sacrificed their life for the defense of the country. Patriotism is a spirit which encourages us all to show our love towards our country. This love should be shown through our actions, and we should feel pride on our country. Move on to page number 16, vocabulary exercise A. Guess the meaning of the following words. Confirm your meaning from the dictionary. Now if you see that some words are given to you, they have asked you the meaning, the guess meaning and the dictionary meaning. Now what is the difference between a guess meaning and a dictionary meaning? At the end, we have to tell the meaning of the word. We know English is a vast language. It absorbs so many words, and even one word sometimes has so many different meanings. The meaning of each word in English language may change depending upon the context. You may see that the dictionary meaning of the word can be different than the contextual meaning. Dictionary meaning is the exact meaning of the word which you can get or find in the dictionary. And guess meaning is whatever you feel would be the meaning of the word according to the context is the guess meaning. Now in this exercise, we have to first tell the guess meaning and then the exact dictionary meaning. Please note here, guess meaning doesn't mean to simply guess what would be the meaning of the word. We have to read out the line carefully and according to the context of the line or the lesson, we have to guess the meaning of the word. We all are sensible enough to read out the text and simply guess the meaning of the word and the thought described by the line. Now, if you see, I have given the guess meaning of the words. And yes, if you remember, I told you to keep dictionary with you and keep finding the meanings of difficult words. And if you have not done your homework, you may consult a dictionary now and find out the meanings of these words. Now this is your homework to find out the dictionary meaning or the exact meaning of the words. First word is conservation. The guess meaning of this word is save. You have to find out the dictionary meaning and do your exercises on your books with a pencil. Second word is instance. The guess meaning is example. You have to find out the dictionary meaning. Third word is fidelity. The guess meaning is faithfulness, and you have to get the dictionary meaning. Fourth word is shield. The guess meaning is protection. Fifth word is reward. The guess meaning is prize. Moving on to the next exercise. Vocabulary exercise B. The question is, make as many words as you can from these root words. Now what is a root word? A root word is a word that can form the basis of new words through the addition of prefixes and suffixes. This will be a simple word, and by adding prefix or a suffix with that word, we can have a new word. Like work, firework, homework, play. Play is a root word. I can make so many words out of this word, like playground, player, PlayStation. Now you have to think about it and make the words by adding either prefixes or suffixes to make a new complete word. Vocabulary exercise C. The question is, use the following words in sentences. Now, the meaning of these words are quite easy. You have to use these words in your own sentences. Before making sentences of these words, you have to keep in mind the part of speech of each word. Like, if the word is given to you as noun, it should be used as noun in the sentence. Similarly, if a word is given to you as an adjective, the sentence of the same word should be made as an adjective in the sentence. Like, first word is sacrifice. The meaning of this word is offer or present. Part of speech of the word sacrifice is noun. If I say, we need to make sacrifice, here the word sacrifice is used as a noun in this sentence. But if I say, I sacrificed everything for Islam, here I sacrificed. Sacrifice is referring to as an action which is done by the person or the pronoun I. So, it should not be used as a verb in the sentence, but as a noun. Similarly, the second word is commendable. Meaning is admirable, and it is an adjective. When you will make the sentence of this word, the word commendable should be used as an adjective in the sentence. When you say this is an commendable quality, so quality is a noun and commendable is acting as an adjective in the sentence. Third word is prosperity. It is a noun. Meaning of the word prosperity is the state of being prosperous. Fourth is invasion. It is a noun, and the meaning of invasion is attack. Fifth, motherland. the meaning is homeland or country, and it is a noun. Responsible. Meaning of responsible is having an obligation to do something, like you are responsible for something, or he is a responsible boy. When I say he is a responsible boy, the word responsible is used as an adjective. It means responsible is an adjective, and the sentence of the word responsible should be made as an adjective. Last word is nationalism. It is a noun, and the meaning is loyalty or devotion. Next, page number 18. It's a grammar topic, modal verbs. What are modal verbs? Or which verbs are known as or considered as modal verbs? Before moving on to the modal verbs, we should first know what is a verb. We all know that verb is one of the parts of speech, and it is a word or any word that expresses an action. All action words are called verbs. Like if you say, he plays football. Now plays is a verb because it's showing you an action. Similarly, there are a number of verbs like eating, breathing, thinking, planning, participating, sleeping, etc. What are modal verbs? Modal verbs are auxiliary or helping verbs. They add meaning to the main verb in a sentence. Modal verbs combine with main verbs to give a complete meaning or to form a compound verb. Some modal verbs are can, may, shall, should, must, might, etc. These modal verbs have certain functions. For example, if I say I can swim, in this sentence I is the pronoun, swim is the main verb, and can is a modal verb here. The meaning to this sentence is showing you the ability of that person. It means this is a modal verb which tells us or indicates the ability to do something. In the same way, modal verbs have certain functions. There are some modal verbs to indicate possibility or probability. Some modal verbs are used to indicate ability. Some are used to indicate certainty. Some are used to indicate permission. Some modal verbs are used to indicate necessity or moral obligation. Some modal verbs are used, in fact, there is one modal verb that is used to indicate some past habit. Now we shall discuss all of these modal verbs one by one and their functions as well. Modal verbs to indicate possibility are can, could, may, might, would. They describe that something might occur, or there is a possibility that the action will occur. The word possibility is most often used when we talk about something that has lesser chances to occur. For example, they may create issues. Now, if we see, the meaning of the sentence is showing us the possibility. Similarly, he could get position or he can get position. Because of the word could and can, the whole sentence is indicating a possibility of the occurrence of something, and there is a lesser chances to do. So, these are the modal verbs to indicate possibility. Modal verbs to indicate ability are can, will, could, would. Can and will, they both are used for the present, and could and would are the past form of can and will. In simple language, you can say can is for the present and could refers to the past form of can, will for the present, and would presents the past form of will. For example, he can swim. The sentence is indicating you the ability that the person can swim. He has the ability to swim. If I say he could swim, so this shows something in the past. He had the ability to swim. Because of the word could, we understand that this is the modal verb of ability, but it's used for the past. Modal verbs to show certainty are must, will, shall. These verbs are used when there is firm conviction that something will happen. You are sure that what will be happening in the future. Now you can easily differentiate between the modal verbs of possibility and certainty. If we need to show the lesser chances or possibility of something, we will use the modal verbs of possibility. If we are sure about something, that something is going to happen, and we are certain about it, then we will be using the modal verbs to indicate certainty. The modal verbs to indicate certainty are used to show certainty or reliable truth. For example, he must cooperate. I'm sure here that he will be cooperating with us. Second example, she will definitely come. Now because of the word will, this is a modal verb and we can understand the whole meaning of the sentence that I'm sure here and there is a certainty that he will or she will come. Modal verbs to indicate probability. You may see that some modal verbs of possibility and probability are same. This is because probability also shows chances. When we make a guess about something and when there are more chances of something to occur. Modal verbs to indicate probability are may, might, should, ought. For example, prices ought to come down. Now there are more chances that the prices may come down. Second example, I may get 6 on a dice. What is a dice? Dice that's used in the game. Now there are more chances, maybe I'm going to get a 6 on a dice. So that will be the modal verb to indicate probability. Modal verbs to indicate permission are can, could, may. You all are much familiar with these sentences. Ma'am, can I go to drink water? Or may I go to a teacher? So these are the modal verbs which are used when you have to take a permission of something. Modal verbs to indicate moral obligation or necessity. These modal verbs are should, must, need, ought to. For showing necessity, we should use should, must, and need. And to show the moral obligation or a strict obligation, we have to use ought to. What is a moral obligation? Moral obligation is a duty that one person owes, and the duty he has to perform at any cost. These are the obligations or our responsibilities, and it is our moral duty to follow them. Like following traffic rules, or helping others, or cleaning your houses, your streets, your society, your schools. These all are your moral obligations. When we have to show moral obligation or a strict obligation, we have to use the modal verb to indicate that is ought to. Or whenever we need to show a necessity to do something, like it is necessity to do something like waking up early in the morning is a necessity. So we can say we should get up early in the morning, or we must get up early in the morning, or we need to get up early in the morning. To indicate any past habit, we have a modal verb used to. Whenever we have to show our past habit, any habit that you were habitual to do in the past but you don't do it now. For example, I used to go to the park. When you use the modal verb used to, it refers to this is the past habit and you don't go to the park now. Similarly, they used to listen old songs. When you use the modal verb used to, it shows the action was done or used to be done in the past and now they don't listen to them. Move on to the exercise related to the modal verbs. Grammar exercise A. The question is, use appropriate modals to describe your three abilities and capacities. How, as described earlier, you have modal verbs to indicate ability or capacity. Use those modal verbs of ability to complete these three statements. You have to tell any three of your abilities and capacities using the modal verb of ability. Second, ask teacher's permission for going out. Use the modal verb of permission to complete. I have already given you an example related to this. Third, ask a friend to lend you a book. Again, it's a permission. It means you have to borrow a book from your friend and request him to lend you for some time. You may use the modal verb of permission here. Fourth, express necessity to get up early. Showing necessity here, you have to use modal verb of necessity or your obligation. So you can use must here or should. Express duty or obligation to follow traffic rules. It is an obligation towards you. So it is a strict obligation to follow traffic rules. That is why you can use a modal verb ought to. Last, share some past habit. Any habit you had to in the past or you used to do in the past, and anything that you are not doing now. Use modal verb to indicate past habit. Next topic, the grammar topic, is kinds of sentences. Before starting kinds of sentences, we should first know what is a sentence. Only then we will be able to understand kinds of sentences. What is a sentence? When we speak or write, we use words. We use these words in groups. A group of words giving a complete sense and ends with a full stop is called a sentence. A sentence always starts with a capital letter and ends with a full stop. For example, we are working on a project. This is a complete sentence as it is giving us a complete meaning, starting with the capital letter, ending with a full stop and a complete thought. There are 5 kinds of sentences. Assertive sentence or declarative, as assertive are also known as declarative sentences. Interrogative sentences, negative sentences, imperative sentences, exclamatory sentences. Assertive sentences. A sentence that declares or states something is called a declarative or assertive sentence. Or you can say all simple statements or simple sentences are called assertive sentences. For example, I am a girl, we have read a book, we are going for picnic. These are the simple sentences, and all simple sentences are known as assertive sentences. The other name of assertive sentences are declarative sentences. Second is interrogative sentences. A sentence that poses or asks a question is called as an interrogative sentence, or any question statement is called an interrogative sentence. You have to put a question mark at the end of an interrogative sentence, and this is must. For example, is this a book? Now the sentence is asking a question. That is why it is an interrogative sentence. Second, have you met your old friends? Now the sentence is posing a question, so it is an interrogative sentence. Did you complete the project? Again, this is a complete sentence and the sentence is asking us a question about the completion of the project, so this is an interrogative sentence. Students, kindly keep this in your mind while identifying the kinds of sentences, that it should be a sentence first. It should not be a phrase, and it should have a complete sense, complete meaning, and then you will have to identify which kind of sentence is it. Move on to the next one, imperative sentences. A sentence that expresses a command, order, or a request is called an imperative sentence. It is a complete sentence and the sentence is having a command in it, any order or any request. If it is a strong command, it ends with an exclamation mark. Otherwise, imperative sentences always end with a full stop. For example, look out. It's a strong command. It's a strong order. So, I have put an exclamation mark at the end of it. Next, please show me how to do it. Here, in this sentence, we can see there is a request because of the word please. So, whenever there is a use of request, whenever there is a request in any sentence, that sentence would be an imperative sentence. Third, bring me a glass of water. Now, if you see, although the word please is not used in this sentence, but even then, the whole sentence is giving us an idea that a request is being asked here. So, this sentence again is an imperative sentence. Exclamatory sentences. In our conversation, when we express our emotions, our feelings, excitement, sadness, or any feeling, we show it by our facial expressions or by our body language. But in written, a sentence that expresses strong emotion or great excitement is called an exclamatory sentence. An exclamatory sentence usually ends with an exclamatory mark, but it is not must. We have to understand the meaning of the sentence. If it is expressing any sort of emotion, whether happiness, sadness, excitement, disappointment, or etc., and there is no use of exclamation mark, even then it will be an exclamatory sentence. So, it is not must that all exclamatory sentences always end with an exclamation mark. Students, it is very important to understand the meaning of the sentence. If there is a sentence and the sentence is showing us any sort of command in it, and ending with an exclamatory mark will be an imperative sentence rather than the exclamatory. If there is any sentence showing us any sort of feeling or emotion and there is no use of exclamatory mark, even then it will be an exclamatory sentence. Because we have to focus on the meaning of the sentence rather than the points. Exclamatory sentence is any sentence that expresses a strong emotion or great excitement. An exclamatory sentence usually ends with an exclamation mark. Sometimes exclamatory sentences do not follow any fixed or definite order for its subject and verb. For example, isn't the place quiet? How terrible? What a lovely weather? Wow, we have won the match. All of these sentences are somehow showing us feelings and emotions, and they all are exclamatory sentences. Negative sentences. Any sentence which shows negation or states that something is false is known as a negative sentence. In English, we create negative sentences by adding the word not after the auxiliary or helping verb. For example, he is not my friend. The sentence is showing us the negation that something is not true, and that is why it is a negative sentence. I have not listened to her. Exercise B. Identify the kinds of following sentences. You have read the kinds of sentences in detail, and now you have to read out the sentences one by one and identify the correct kind of sentence. First sentence is, art is another subject in which I am particularly interested. It is a simple statement, and then keeping that in mind, write down the correct kind of sentence. What a beautiful painting. The sentence is reflecting your emotions towards the painting, so it is your exclamatory sentence. Teach him to learn. In this sentence, a command has been given to teach someone about something, so that is your imperative sentence. How would I know? The sentence is a question statement, so that is your interrogative sentence. She did not make a false statement. The overall sentence is showing you the negation here, and there is a use of not, so that is your negative sentence. Now students, the last exercise which has been given to you is a paragraph. You have to rewrite the paragraph by putting the correct punctuation marks. Before rewriting the paragraph, you should first know the rules of punctuation marks. Full stop. It is placed at the end of a complete sentence or assertive sentences because all assertive sentences give a complete thought. I am working at this moment. You have to put a full stop because this is an assertive sentence and it is a complete thought. Capital letters. Every new sentence begins with a capital letter. All the proper nouns should be started with a capital letter. The pronoun I should always be written with a capital letter. For example, we are living in Africa. We know Africa is a proper noun. The names of the personalities, schools, cities, countries, or any specific name will be included in the proper nouns and they all should be written with a capital letter. When you complete a sentence by putting a full stop and starting a new sentence, it should always be started with a capital letter. The pronoun I am busy here is always be written with in a capital form. Comma. The comma has many uses. First, to separate the items in a list. If you have a list of some items, you have to differentiate all those items by putting a comma in between them. Second, separate two adjectives which modify a noun individually. If there is one noun and two adjectives have been given to qualify the noun, then you will put a comma in between both these adjectives to separate them. Separate two independent clauses joined by a coordinate conjunction. If there is one sentence and the sentence has two clauses or two parts, then you will separate both those parts by putting a comma and there will be a use of conjunction as well. To set off a person's name when he is being addressed. Address means when the person is in front of you and you're calling his name. After calling the name, you have to put a comma and say whatever you have to. Like Ahmed, listen to me. Ali, come here. To set off yes or no in a response. When someone asks you something and you simply say yes or no, you don't need to put any comma. But if you have a further explanation after yes and no, then you have to write yes, no, comma, and then give the further explanation. For example, yes, comma, I have done it. Exclamation mark. Strong commands may end with an exclamation mark to emphasize them, as well as the end of the exclamatory sentences. After an exclamation mark, the next word should always start with a capital letter. We have already read about this, that if there is an imperative sentence having a strong command, you will put an exclamation mark. If there is an exclamatory sentence, then we will be putting an exclamation mark at the end of it. For example, look, he has something for us. It is a very important point that whenever you put an exclamation mark, if it is at the end of a word, then you have to start the sentence with a capital letter. The word would be interjection. If it is a sentence you're putting an exclamation mark, then you'll be starting it with a new capital letter. Question mark. All direct questions end with a question mark. And all interrogative sentences end with the question mark because we know direct question or direct statements are the interrogative sentences. For example, are you coming with us? Have they received their parcel? Are you listening to me? These are some of the rules that have been explained in detail. You have to rewrite the paragraph, that is grammar exercise C punctuation, punctuate the following paragraph. Rewrite the paragraph by putting the correct punctuation marks. So students, we have completed the chapter. I hope all of you have understood the chapter quite well. Kindly make your notes as instructed by me Take care of yourselves and your family. Allah Hafiz.